Hey, so to start off today, I kind of wanted to show you what this chapter looks like. It kind of looks like this. Can you see it? And when I'm reading this, it's not like a normal story. I'm going to be reading a bunch of texts and emails, okay? But this chapter is called Letters, Emails, Facebook, and Texts. December 18th. Dear Mr. Tushman, I am very, very sorry for punching Julian. It was very, very wrong of me to do that. I am writing a letter to tell him that too. If it's okay, I would really rather not tell you why I did what I did because it doesn't really make it right anyway. Also, I would rather not make Julian get in trouble for having said something he should not have said. Very sincerely, Jack Will. December 18th. Dear Julian, I am very, very, very sorry for hitting you. It was wrong of me. I hope you are okay. I hope your grown-up teeth grows in fast. Mine always do. Sincerely, Jack Will. December 26th, so this is about a week later. Dear Jack, thank you so much for your letter. One thing I've learned after being a middle school director for 20 years, there are almost always more than two sides to every story. Although I don't know the details, I have an inkling about what may have sparked the confrontation with Julian. While nothing justifies striking another student, ever, I also know good friends are sometimes worth defending. This has been a tough year for a lot of students, as the first year of middle school usually is. Keep up the good work, and keep being the fine boy we all know you are. All the best, Lawrence Tushman, middle school director. Okay, this next one, it looks like it's an email to Mr. Tushman from Julian's mom, Melissa Albans, okay? And the subject is Jack Will. She writes, Dear Mr. Tushman, I spoke with Amanda and John Will yesterday, and they expressed their regret at Jack's having punched our son, Julian, in the mouth. I am writing to let you know that my husband and I support your decision to allow Jack to return to Beecher Prep after a 2-day suspension. Although I think hitting a child would be valid grounds for expulsion in other schools, I agree such extreme measures aren't warranted here. We have known the Will family since our boys were in kindergarten and are confident that every measure will be taken to ensure this doesn't happen again. To that end, I wonder if Jack's unexpectedly violent behavior might have been a result of too much pressure being placed on his young shoulders. I am speaking specifically of the new child with special needs who both Jack and Julian were asked to befriend. In retrospect, and having now seen the child in question at various school functions and in the class pictures, I think it may have been too much to ask of our children to be able to process all that. Certainly, when Julian mentioned he was having a hard time befriending the boy, we told him he was off the hook in that regard. We think the transition to middle school is hard enough without having to place greater burdens or hardships on these young, impressionable minds. I should also mention that, as a member of the school board, I was a little disturbed that more consideration was not given during this child's application process to the fact that Beecher Prep is not an inclusion school. There are many parents, myself included, who question the decision to let this child into our school at all. At the very least, I am somewhat troubled that this child was not held to the same stringent application standards, i.e. interview, that the rest of the incoming middle school students were. Best, Melissa Perper Albans. Okay, so this is just Miss Gill talking now, not reading the story, but I kind of want to explain this mom's email to you. So what Julian's mom is saying is that she doesn't think it's fair that Mr. Tushman asked Jack and Julian to be friends with August. She thinks that he's too much of a burden for them and that it's putting too much pressure on them to be his friend, especially seeing what August looks like. This mom doesn't think that Mr. Tushman should have made them do that. I don't know. I don't agree with this mom, but it's up to you guys. Okay. I am going to read now. This is the email that Mr. Tushman sent back to Julian's mom. Okay. He said, Dear Mrs. Albans, thanks for your email outlining your concerns. Were I not convinced that Jack Will is extremely sorry for his actions, and were I not confident that he would not repeat those actions, rest assured that I would not be allowing him back into Beecher Prep. As for your other concerns regarding our new student, August, please note that he does not have special needs. He is neither disabled, handicapped, nor developmentally delayed in any way, so there was no reason to assume anyone would take issue with his admittance to Beecher Prep, whether it is an inclusion school or not. So I'm going to pause right there and talk again. Julian's mom, she didn't think it was fair that August got into this private school. She thought that because August's face looks different, that he didn't have to go through the same process to get into this fancy school that all the other kids had to. And so this mom was saying how she was disappointed in the school. Okay, and so now Mr. Tushman is saying he had to do what everyone else had to do. Okay. In terms of the application process, the admissions director and I both felt it within our right to hold the interview off-site at August's home for reasons that are obvious. We felt that this slight break in protocol was warranted, but in no way prejudicial, in one way or another, to the application review. August is an extremely good student and has secured the friendship of some truly exceptional young minds, including Jack Will. At the beginning of the school year, when I enlisted certain children to be a welcoming committee to August, I did so as a way of easing his transition into a school environment. I did not think asking these children to be especially kind to a student would place any extra burdens or hardships on them. In fact, I thought it would teach them a thing or two about empathy and friendship and loyalty. As it turns out, Jack Will didn't need to learn any of these virtues. He already had them in abundance. Thank you again for being in touch. Sincerely, Lawrence Tushman. Okay, this next email is to Julian's mom from Jack Will's dad. It says, "Hi, Melissa. Thank you for being so understanding about this incident with Jack. He is, as you know, extremely sorry for his actions. I hope you do accept our offer to pay Julian's dental bills. We are very touched by your concern regarding Jack's friendship with August. Please know we have asked Jack if he felt any undue pressure about any of this, and the answer was a resolute no. He enjoys August's company and feels like he has made a good friend. Hope you have a happy new year. John and Amanda Will." Okay, this next little part is a Facebook message from Jack to August. It says, "Hi, August. Jackalope Will wants to be friends with you on Facebook." Okay, so we just sent him a friend request. This next one is an email to August from Jack. The subject is sorry with 6 exclamation points. "Hey, August. It's me, Jack Will. I noticed I'm not on your friends list anymore. Hope you friend me again, because I'm really sorry. I just wanted to say that. Sorry. I know why you're mad at me now. I'm sorry I didn't mean that stuff I said. I was stupid. I hope you can forgive me. Hope we can be friends again, Jack." This is a text message now from August to Jack. It says, "Got your message. You know why I'm mad at you now? Did Summer tell you?" And Jack said, "She told me Bleeding Scream as a hint, but I didn't get it at first. Then I remembered seeing Bleeding Scream in homeroom on Halloween. Didn't know it was you. Thought you were coming as Boba Fett." New text message from August. "I changed my mind at the last minute. Did you really punch Julian?" One message from Jack Will. "Yeah, I punched him. Knocked out a tooth in the back. A baby tooth." Message from August. "Why'd you punch him?" Message from Jack. "I don't know." Message from August. "Liar. I bet he said something about me, right?" Message from Jack. "He's a jerk. But I was a jerk too. Really, really, really sorry for what I said, dude. Okay? Can we be friends again?" Message from August. "LOL. Yes, dude. We're friends again." Hey, that's good. They're friends again. I'm going to read another chapter, probably the last one for today. This one is called Back from Winter Break. Despite what Tushman said, there was no clean slate. When I went back to school in January, in fact, things were totally weird from the second I got to my locker in the morning. I'm next to Amos, who's always been a pretty straight-up kid, and I was like, "Yo, what up?" And he basically just nodded a half hello and closed his locker door and left. I was like, okay, that was bizarre. And then I said, "Hey, what up?" to Henry, who didn't even bother half smiling but just looked away. Okay, so something's up. Dissed by 2 people in less than 5 minutes? Not that anyone's counting. I thought I'd try one more time with Tristan, and boom, same thing. He actually looked nervous, like he was afraid of talking to me. I've got a form of the plague now, is what I thought. This is Julian's payback. And that's pretty much how it went all morning. Nobody talked to me. Not true. The girls were totally normal with me, and August talked to me, of course. And actually, I have to say, both Maxes said hello, which made me feel kind of bad for never, ever hanging out with them in the 5 years I've been in their class. I hoped lunch would be better, but it wasn't. I sat down at my usual table with Luca and Isaiah. I guess I thought since they weren't in the super popular group, but they were kind of middle of the road jock kids, that I'd be safe with them. But they barely nodded when I said hello. Then when our table was called, they got their lunches and never came back. I saw them find a table way over at the other end of the cafeteria. They weren't at Julian's table, but they were near him, like on the fringe of popularity. So anyway, I'd been ditched. I knew table switching was something that happened in the 5th grade, but I never thought it would happen to me. It really felt awful being at the table by myself. I felt like everyone was watching me. It also made me feel like I had no friends. I decided to skip lunch and go read in the library. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Bye, guys.